Okay. This is a new thing for me. Not too big on the live streaming, I guess. Definitely not sober, and the topic is also strange for me. So lately, I've been on a pretty confusing sort of spiritual journey. The last year has been so full of up and downs, and the last, I would say, 4 years has been especially traumatic, if and seemingly cyclical and repetitive. But what, I don't even know what day it is, like a week ago, I'm going to say, I had a pretty tense experience. What I would say is like a surge of energy, that, or like a catalyst that triggered something, and I had no idea what it was. So before I talk about that, I want to go into a little bit of background about the last year of my life. Um, I have been kind of cycling through this lifestyle of goal setting, hitting brick walls and or failures, resetting goals, trying again, hitting brick walls, and saying, okay, there's a reason for everything. Just get up, pick up, like dust off, move on, try again, try something different. And I kept doing that, like so dramatically that to the outsider, it looked like I was flaky and didn't really know what I wanted in life. And not to myself, I was just convincing myself um, that I'm just goal setting and I'm accepting failures and I'm just learning from my mistakes and letting go and moving on. But you know, I couldn't seem to get unstuck and figure out which direction I was supposed to be going. I definitely am a spiritual person, big on intuition, really focused the last few years on developing my intuition and trying to like pick through the different resources that I would find and just following my gut, saying, okay, that seems like right. Let's go with that. So, really interested in like intuitives and oracles and like reading signs and lucid dreaming, meditation, trying to just dig and find purpose. Like, what is my purpose? And even with my teachings in meditation, the great questions in meditation are who am I? What do I want? And what is my purpose? Like, how can I serve? What is my purpose? And I had this like belief system that I said, okay, this is how it is. This is what I believe. And I believed that I had a purpose, something that was predestined. I just had to figure out what it was, and that my point in life was to learn a particular lesson and then grow from it and find my purpose and then fulfill it. And yes, I had, I guess I still had my personal goals. I was big into manifestation, making things happen, and I thought I was pretty good at it to a certain extent. And when I go into manifestation, I generally, throw out like a desire, something that I'd say, okay, I'd like this to happen, or I'd like this to go smoothly, kind of thing, and say, okay, universe, this is what I'd like. If it's not meant to be, then I accept that. But if it's okay with you, can you just make it happen? And things I've been surviving that way. And I, in spite of all of what I thought was progressive spiritual work, I felt really lonely and isolated. And as time went on, I've been feeling more and more isolated and just lonelier and lonelier and more disconnected and confused about who I am and what the point of it all is. And my belief system's just getting more sporadic and shakier. And I just haven't been able to settle on something or find a path. I haven't been able to find like that groove. I would get onto something and I'd say, oh shit, I think that's right. I'm gonna go that way. And then the path would disappear. And here I am over and over again doing this. This has been my pattern, my cycle, I guess. And I just couldn't figure out what it was that was getting me to repeat this. And So about a year ago, I started uh, thinking that like I had convinced myself also that I was destined to be alone without a relationship, and but it made me miserable because I really desperately wanted to be in a relationship. I wanted a partner, somebody to share my life with, blah blah blah. And so I tried to throw myself into something that I thought was a good idea. I thought it was right for me, and I thought that like, I've been patient. This is something that's destined, and I see all the signs and blah 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 blah. And in that sort of thing, I also started looking into like the twin flames and twins, like kindred spirits, and like karmic souls stuff, and blah blah. And I thought, okay, this is cool. Life is getting interesting, but at the same time, I felt like I was still repeating difficulties, and that things weren't quite sitting right. And as it turned out, it definitely wasn't a relationship that was meant to be. And it was a hard lesson. And it was a really hard lesson for me when that ended. And I thought to myself, what am I doing wrong that is just constantly causing these patterns of grief and trauma and loneliness and rejection and abandonment and whatever else? And I have been spending the last, I guess, I'm going to say 3 months ish, just really digging, saying, okay, that I have to be learning something from all of this. What is it? And I came to one conclusion, like, okay, maybe I'm like, this is the pity party. I've been living in a lot of self pity as well. Yes, I know it's terrible. It's just the way it was. Like, oh, maybe I'm an emotional martyr, and the universe is just using me to take on a lot of shit because other people can't seem to handle it. So I'm taking it and I'm suffering. But maybe it's because my soul said I could handle it, and I'm strong enough, and I just have to suck it up and push through. And then after getting a little bit out of the pity pot, I took a different view on it and said, okay, actually, maybe I'm a healer, and these people actually have a lot of shit they're dealing with that they can't get through on their own. So I'm there to help them heal and grow in their journeys, and that is my purpose. And I kind of stuck that in the back of my mind. And then uh, I've just sort of been trying to create a materialistically comfortable life for myself. Like, okay, where am I going to live? Where am I going to settle? Am I going to be in a relationship, or am I letting it go? Like, just throwing it out of the universe. And I'm pretty much in the middle of this transitional stage once again. And about a week ago, I have this incident occur. We'll say this is pretty much fucking thrown my world upside down. By the way, so I encounter this being, this person who seems really fucking enlightened to me. They're quite a bit younger than I am uh, in human years, and spiritually seemingly so far advanced. I thought, oh my god, I feel like a child talking to this person, and we discussed a lot of really cool and deep concepts over like the course of several hours. And I was really intrigued by this person, and they made me want to know more, and I really wanted to have that desire to connect with that person. And we ended up spending quite a bit of time together uh, over the period of 3 days. Now, at the end of that first day, uh, somehow connecting with that person triggered a complete surge of energy in my body that actually had a physical reaction. I would say like a hormonal, chemical, or physical reaction that I felt literally like it was like hitting a wall. It was like I was high on drugs, like on ecstasy or something. I just felt almost like overwhelmed. Like it wasn't a sexual thing. It was very much like I don't know, it was like a soul connection where I was pulled from myself, disconnected from my body, and connecting with another human being that actually put my brain into throes of like dopamine and oxytocin and all kinds of weird chemicals that I can't even say that I've actually experienced that on ecstasy or MDMA or mushrooms or anything else. So it was slightly overwhelming for me, as well as the fact that I really haven't experimented with psychedelics and drugs in my life. I mean, teenager years did a little bit here and there, but it's been a really long time since I've messed around with stuff like that. And it hasn't been so regular that I'm familiar with the feelings and sensations of it. So I found the experience to be extremely, extremely overwhelming and really like mind boggling. So I completely latched onto this person thinking, oh my God, it's this person triggering these hormones in me. I need to connect with this person. Maybe I'm meant to have a relationship with this person. And I just dug and dug, and they kind of sort of stepped back from things. I think that they had already achieved a state of mind where they were one with the universe and in the now and the I am and the whole nine yards. And I'm just like, oh my God, you're like my Buddha, teach me. And I kind of freaked them out, and they sort of scattered, and I was left after just it was only a few days that we hung out, but I was left with this overwhelming sensation to figure out what the fuck was going on. And um, so I came home, and I like kept hanging on to that sensation, just reliving in my mind this feeling, this whoosh over my body, the tingling, the sort of the physical. I don't know. It just felt. It's like it felt like I was removed from my body, like an out of body experience. And I kept trying to relive that to the point where I would trigger it again. So laying in my bed, I would get that feeling again, like slightly milder because I was doing it in my head instead of getting a catalyst involved. But I managed to relive that thing, or I've managed to maintain that sensation. And so I started Googling and looking online desperately, trying to figure out what the heck it was that was going on. Is this my twin flames, my soulmate, blah, blah, blah. And what I came across was something called Kundalini awakening, which I'd never really heard of before now. And as spiritually advanced and progressive as I thought I was, I fucking have no idea what's going on, apparently. So, Kundalini awakening being when your physical body and your energy body start to blend and merge, where you basically lose your sense of self and you blend in with your soul. I think become one entity, but it actually can have a physical reaction, and it can make you sick. Like I was actually bedridden. I slept for 36 hours, like pretty much a day and a half straight. I was out. I got pretty sick for a day, like almost like as if I had food poisoning, but I was fasting. And and then at the same time, I'm also feeling like kind of high. So I'm like reading and looking things up, and I try to find a mentor online for this because from what I've gathered, this Kundalini awakening is supposed to be pretty traumatic and can bring on the experience of what's called ego, the death of the ego, or ego death, where Jim Carrey is pretty fucking pro at this, and just like look up videos of him talking on YouTube and you'll see what I'm talking about, where you basically completely detached from your sense of self and have that euphoric oneness with everything, that you are the universe and the universe is you, and you are God, and God is you, and everything and everyone is connected, and just being like aware and not I don't know how to explain it. So yeah, I'm still learning. Anyways, I'm like day 5 or something into this strangeness, and I've now come to a point where I found a mentor, finally got in touch with them today, and they are encouraging me to really let go of this ego, because apparently this pattern and cycle that I've been spinning through is my super desperate attachment to my sense of self and my self identity, which has been preventing me from progressing. And that makes sense, because I mean, the whole like, oh, woe is me, what's wrong with my life, I'm going to be lonely, me, blah, blah, blah. And it's not about me. I'm not really anything. Like, when you're dead, your personality's gone. That's just fact. And being able to let go of that is a hard thing for most human beings. Death is a scary thing. So death of the ego is essentially death. where you completely let go of that your self identity or sense of self, and accept that oneness, and let go of everything, let go of opinion, let go of uh, I don't even know that. Anytime that I feel something like emotional, like pity or jealousy or envy or desire or whatever, I kind of just go back and say, "Shut up, you don't exist. Go away. You're dead." Like, I don't know if I would say that this is me killing my ego, because I've been in the process of this for quite some time, in the whole years of me saying, I don't know who the fuck I am. Do I even exist? And especially in the like the last year or two, going through my old journals and saying, like, or looking pictures of myself saying, I don't know who that is. This person's dead. Does that mean that me and how I see myself now, I'm going to be dead? Yes. I already accepted that. So I think that the transition from complete death of ego will be a little bit easier for me than I anticipated, because I've kind of been in the process of doing it already. Um, so I just wanted to, yeah, make a little video to talk about the whole thing, because I feel like, with how much shit I've been experiencing in such a short period of time, and how many aha moments I've had, that I'm in for a wild ride. And because I'm not using psychedelics or drugs to achieve my, I don't know, spiritual peaks and whatnot, I kind of wanted to have like a little bit of a record of my progress, and the like, to sort of maybe see the changes in myself, and to kind of, I almost intuitively want to say, so that maybe other people who are experiencing this kind of thing have something that they can grasp onto, and know that um, ascension or clarity or inner peace can be achieved without the use of psychedelics. Because I think that from all of the materials that I've been looking at, a lot of it is people have been fucked on LSD and mushrooms, and like so high that they just snap. And from everything I've read, that's really unhealthy to do, because it's like forcing it, it's killing your ego instead of letting it die. So yeah, I just kind of want to get an idea of what the heck's happening, and be able to reflect on that. And so I don't, also, because I don't want my ego to trick me into thinking that it's done its trick so that I can make progress, because I have a feeling that sneaky fucker is manipulative and wants to trick me a little bit, because it wants to hang on. Like, the ego doesn't want to die, it wants to cling for dear life. And also, I also wanted to sort of see, like, some of my fears that I have are, see, fear. This is stupid. Fear is the ego. Oh my God. Shut up, you. All right. So some of my curiosities that I have are, will I still enjoy food? Because I'm a fucking foodie. I'm a glutton. I love food. And one of the things that I've enjoyed as long as I can remember is the concept, like, oh, I'm human and I can taste. It's so wonderful. It's such a primitive and delightful experience that I can only experience as I am now as a human being. And if I am a soul or energy or a different life form, I'll never get to eat food and enjoy it like I do now. And sex and like passion, these things that stimulate the body and the chemicals, this only exists as we are as human beings. If I was a different animal, or if I was a different being, or if I was an energy thing and I didn't have this body that was made exactly the way it is, I couldn't appreciate these emotions, the ups and the downs. I couldn't cry and feel that pain and sorrow the way that I can in this body. I couldn't feel the joy and the love and the attachment or the detachment, the tragedy. It's all like part of the package. So I would like, I know for at least the last 10 years, I've sort of had moments where I've said, oh my God, I'm so sad. I'm so upset. I'm heartbroken. But then I would just like have this whoosh, or like, oh my God, I'm so lucky that I can feel that. Because if I was anything else or anyone else, I wouldn't be feeling this. So I have to be grateful. So that curiosity is like, yeah, that's going to all disappear. Because if I lose that ego, I'm going to lose that emotional range. Am I going to lose the same appreciation for human things, like, yeah, food, sex, watching a comedy? Am I going to still laugh at the same things? Like, are jokes going to still make me laugh? Or because right now, like what I'm feeling now is totally numb. As I'm catching my ego and telling it to shut up and move on and stop being selfish and it doesn't exist. And I'm an ant in the universe and everything, like I'm insignificant and blah, blah, blah. I just, like, at first I felt a little twinge of like, ow, that hurt my feelings. Fuck off. What feelings? You don't exist. You are nothing. You're just a figment of my imagination that has been built to protect my shell to a certain point so I can make actual progress. And the universe has no need for you. You don't matter. Like, you're an ant. Look how big the universe is. And you're not special. You're not special. There's every other human being that's ever existed in the history of time. Every other soul that's ever been incarnated is going to go through the exact same journey and the same tragedies, the same difficulties. They're going to feel the same fucking things. You're not special. It's not a unique thing that you're going through. No matter how traumatic you think that your life is, it's not unique. And I have to remind myself that. So yes, a twinge of, ow, but I want to be special. But then it goes away and I'm like, yeah, that's true. There's always going to be others going through what you're going through. It's not special. It's not unique. You are just everything and everything. Yeah, I feel like I'm such a hippie, like I should be stoned. I don't even smoke pot, by the way. So this is really strange for me to be talking like this. And I'm usually not at a loss for words, but I've been walking around like a zombie the last couple of days. And I feel like just numb. And I don't know if it's good because I've heard that through this experience, the Kundalini awakening and the ego death, that it can be very painful and very scary and very traumatic. And not a lot of people get through it. Like, a lot of people can't hack it. They end up going crazy, like mental institutions, or running off with running off into the wilderness, or some people commit suicide because they just think that they just can't do it. They give up. And so I'm not sure if the numbness is a temporary defense mechanism for my ego, if it's actually me letting go. Is this a natural thing? Like, I have no fucking idea what to be expecting. But yeah, I guess confusion is normal, and for people, like, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know, right? That's something I learned at a very young age, and it is something that is is infinitely growing. The knowledge that I have is obviously infinitely growing, and so is the knowledge of the shit that I have no fucking idea what's going on is infinitely growing. Uh, it's interesting. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I pretty much want to isolate myself from people for a while. I think I'm gonna spend a week basically indoors, just creating myself a schedule, because if I'm numb, I need to somehow motivate myself. If I can't motivate my ego by saying like, "Oh, you're going to be rewarded and your dreams will come true," which won't happen. My dreams will not come true. I will not be rewarded. I just am, and I just have to motivate myself to exist. Like going to the gym, it's good for you. It's good for your body. Like, the spiritual progress is good for your soul, but you got to motivate yourself to do it, because there's no reward if you don't do the work. So, and then, like, that's, oh, it's like that kind of excruciating. So I'm going to try and create myself a schedule, get out of bed. I'm going to try to maintain the mundane tasks. I'm going to try to force myself to keep up hobbies, and just test things and see, like, will I still enjoy playing a video game? Will I read a book and not fade off in the distance? And if I do, I'm just going to let it happen and just roll with it. I kind of want to also, like, my digestive system's been out of whack, so I'm going to switch to vegetarian diet, because I've been pretty flexitarian for the last year, and it's definitely not working for me now. So vegetarian for sure, and I may have to lay off of pretty much all processed food or whatever, and go on like strictly real food diet. Not raw food, but real food, like not processed grains or packages or sugar, which I'm usually a fan of. But um, I'm also going to try and stay away from alcohol. Don't know how that's going to go because I am a renowned alcoholic. But the way that I feel now, I just feel so disconnected and I don't feel any desire for anything. I don't know if it'll be that difficult. That's my goals. Eat clean, stay away from substances, try to get a lot of sleep, and create a routine so that I can still function in the human world, like with a job and communicating with people and, bathing, etc. Although I've noticed I've been really enjoying soaking in the water. Baths have been really good for some reason. And I have a dog, so I can cuddle him, which is pretty good. Dodger, how you doing, buddy? Hey, I'll show you. Hey, buddy, come say hi. I got this little guy. Animals are pretty interesting. These guys are dogs are so awesome. The problem I'm having, I think, is he's absorbing a lot of whatever's going on with me. So this little shit has been sleeping just as much as me, and he's been kind of wonky, but it's really nice to have warm, warm animal contact because it's also fucking cold. Anyways, challenge number 1 is today. After having been isolated for a solid 3 days. Is it 3 days? I don't know what day it is. 3 days? 2, 2, 3, 4. This is day 4 where I've been completely isolated from humankind, except for the occasional 5-minute hello to my roommate. And I'm going to a soccer game, and it is a big one. It is the Derby. This is usually something I look greatly forward to. I'm sort of anticipating it now with anxiety because I don't really want to be around people. I want to just be by myself and sleeping or reading or watching YouTube videos. But yeah, you can come sit. Well, look at this little bugger. Yeah. So yeah, big old soccer game. Fuck tons of people, and it's going to be noisy, and there's going to be a lot of beer, and everyone's going to be pushing it on me because usually that's all I do is go and drink a lot. But I'm also curious to see how I react in that environment with that kind of energy, with all of the different people around me. And I'm going to try and pay attention to some details. I'm going to try and see if I can start overwhelming or if I feel disconnected. Will I still enjoy watching the game and having that energy of fun and chanting and singing and whatever? Like, I am very curious to see how it goes. So, yeah, let's see how it goes. And I will update probably. I will try to keep updating via videos every day and or every time I have like a new sort of aha moment that I feel is significant or experience or whatever. And yeah, so that's where I am right now. Interesting. And it'll be pretty interesting to see how this goes. But I am definitely at the peak of something large and in charge happening in my existence. So holy shit balls. This actually reminds me. I also looked into doing ayahuasca about 4 or 5 years ago because of this insane craving and desire to connect spiritually with what the hell is going on. So I watched a lot of videos on YouTube about people doing ayahuasca, and I remember seeing people's like before and after, like, I'm going to go do ayahuasca in South America, and afterwards they were like so disconnected and slow. And I thought, oh my God, what do they do? Did they have brain damage? Are they permanently fucked up from doing this drug, this toxin? And it freaked me out. But I feel like I'm gonna be like that only without the ayahuasca. I feel like I already am. I don't know if you have seen me before in previous videos or if you know my personality. I'm generally very high energy and fast talker. I don't pause this much, and I don't seem like a zombie this much. But today I definitely am. So that's all I have to say. Wish me luck. And maybe some of you, if this is like a video that's going to stick around and be of use to people. Maybe some of you will be joining me in this journey because that you were brought here by your own weird, fucked up experience. So good luck to you as well. And yeah, see you next time. Ciao. Yes, I want to end it.